What's up, everybody? This is the Act Man here, and today I thought it'd be nice to go do something I haven't done in a long time. A Q&A video. That's right, I haven't done these in like 2+ years, and I thought, hey, why not have people ask me stupid shit, some good questions or whatever, and I'll just answer it no matter what. Most of them. Most of your questions I will answer. So let's get started. Our first question comes from Connor Higbed. Alliance or Horde?
For the Horde.
Because they usually have better voice acting.
That'd be good choice, man.
Next question is from McNeil. Are you cut? I don't know, bro. It kind of depends on, like, which way you're trying to go. Because, like, beach is over there, you know? But the bars and all the hot ladies are definitely over that way. It really depends, you know, man? Douche levels up to 10,000%. This one comes from Matthew Powers, sponsored by Headspace. Okay. Are you or are you not throwing up white power?
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
It didn't take long for the shitty questions to start popping up. I'm just kidding. Maybe it's a legitimate question, maybe it's just being funny. No, this is not white power. No, it's not. It's okay, it's like, ding, you got it. Alright, then we got a question from some ancient hieroglyphics wings. Which has better level design, Kazooie or Tooie? Ooh, good question. I'd say Tooie because the levels are much bigger, more expansive, and they have more things going on, but at the same time it can be overly complex and confusing. So, they're both pretty good, but I'd probably give it to Kazooie just because of the simple, pure fun it has. Ren's reviews, oh god, Jesus, no. What'll is your favorite one, and which on is for that? Which days? If you'd answer this for me, it'll made my day because I am your #1 biggest fan. I'm writing you to this from the hospital. Please cure me. Why would you ask me this? God damn it, Ren. Ooh, now we got a good question from Christian Perez. Would you prefer a proper Battlefront 3 or Republic Commando 2? Ooh, probably Battlefront 3, just because with the advances in technology, you know, it would probably be one of the greatest games of all time if done right. Republic Commando 2 would be fucking awesome as well, because we never heard what happened to Sev. I don't give a shit if it happened in some book here or there. I don't care if it happened in a comic book or you know, some graffiti on the bathroom. No, we never found out what happened to Sev, okay? So, both of them, but I'd have to go with Battlefront 3. I got a lot of questions for Black Ops 2 related content, and so, because there's a lot of questions for it, that means there's some demand, and I'll definitely get to it. So, the Colburnator, I will do a Black Ops 2 video, in time. So we got the Flyers Realm. Do you think Activision can ever redeem itself as a company or its franchises such as Call of Duty? Really hope you feature this in the Q&A, even if it's not. I can wait to watch the video. I can't really answer this question right now, so I'm just kidding. I don't think Activision wants to redeem themselves. I think they just want to keep following where the money is, and they really don't give a shit. We got Castlemaker. Would you ever consider doing a Why is blank so awesome on the Elder Scrolls series? You know, I have thought about it.
Stop! You violated the law!
I do love Oblivion and Skyrim. Not at the moment, no. I've thought of doing a comparison between Oblivion and Skyrim and, you know, kind of stacking them up against each other and what they do well respectively and which game does things better than the other. But aside from that, no current plans for Elder Scrolls videos. Alright, so Tessa Radical 17 wants to know about my clan tags in Halo Reach. So it's story time, alright? The clan tags you see in these pictures here, yes, there's a funny story behind them. Now you might be thinking, oh, it's just trying to get away with having a profane clan tag in a video game, which part of it is, but fag? The reason I had that clan tag was because of a funny story that my brother and his friend told me about how they were playing, you know, some multiplayer match on Reach, and they had that clan tag, FAAG, and they were in voice chat, and things were getting pretty heated, and the guy was like, oh man, they're coming to you, fag! And he just stopped because he realized what he was saying, like calling someone a fag. Like, they're coming to you, fag! It's fucking hilarious. So that's why I rock that gamer tag, or that clan tag. So Bailey J. III, first of his name, son of Gimli of Gloin, keeper of the keys at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, asks, will Louis Fonzi ever bring us Despacito 2? You know, let's settle this. Who the fuck cares about Despacito 2, okay? I know it has meme relevance, but what about Bohemian Rhapsody 2, huh?
DK! Donkey Kong! DK! Donkey Kong is here!
Through the Fire and Flames 2. Let's talk the real questions here, the real songs that need sequels, okay? What about Dear Mama 2, huh? Lose Yourself 2? Anybody? People care about Despacito? Alright, we got a real question from Garbear. Did you ever wrestle or play any other sports other than what you do now? Great question. I was raised in a very athletic-oriented family. So my father would do triathlons, and he would coordinate triathlons, and so basically they involved me in soccer, track and field, cross country, basketball, tennis, chess tournaments. But like, we just did so many athletic sports and whatnot. Before I finally settled down with martial arts in about the 8th grade, and I've been maining that mostly. Never did wrestling though. So we got Colonel Sanders from Spaceballs. Do you ever get burned out from consistently posting content? Well, it's not that I get burned out, it's more or less maintaining a consistent level of motivation and work ethic and doing something literally every day, no matter how big or small, to contribute to my videos or interacting with my fans. It's just a part of life. I don't really get burned out, but sometimes I lack motivation on certain days. Kind of a follow-up question to this subject by Robert Robbie. Do making videos stress you out, or does the passion outweigh the stress? Smiley face. Videos always stress me out, dude. I mean, because when you get a big audience, and you're at like 300,000 subscribers, and you've invested all this time into something, this like independent project that's been doing well, who's to say one day it won't just all evaporate or disappear, or the channel dies off and people stop watching? You know, what's to say that won't happen someday? And what'll I do then, you know? Yes, it does stress me out, but as long as people are happy with what I'm making, as long as they're getting decent views and you know, I get a lot of feedback from people and interaction, then, you know, once the videos are posted, the stress turns into happiness and satisfaction. Brennan Walton asks, what's your opinion on the eras of games, like the N64 era, yada yada? I grew up with the N64, the Xbox, and the GameCube, and those were all great consoles, right? It wasn't until the 360, PlayStation 3, Wii, and above that games started having this huge emphasis on online and DLC and constant updates and that sort of thing, and I feel like the earlier eras were much simpler, and you could just pop in a game, like, you know, it's the same game. You pop in Star Fox 64, it's Star Fox 64 just as you played it 20 years ago.
We need your help, Star Fox. Andros has declared war. He's invaded the Lilat system and is trying to take over Corneria. Our army alone can't do the job. Hurry, Star Fox.
That's not the case with, say, like Halo 5, where every month, you know, if I play it once a month, something's gonna be different every time, for better or worse. And that's kind of the crux of the issue here with the eras of games, is there's almost like a necessity to keep changing, because otherwise you feel like you're just gonna get beat out by the competition. Speaking from the perspective of game developers, right? And I kind of covered that in my League of Legends video, and I think that's kind of the mindset that people have nowadays. But I'll always be a fan of classics and stuff that's just good on its own merits and doesn't need 50 million updates to be good. Clayton Bowler asks, what started your lifelong journey of video games? And what is a video game series that you have lost love for and or believe that it has fallen from grace? Ooh, there's a lot of those. What started my lifelong journey of video games was, I guess, my parents bought me Pokemon Blue version in the Nintendo 64 with Super Mario 64 when I was like 3 years old. I played them, just loved them, and been invested in games ever since. There's plenty of series that have fallen from grace, but the one that I think is just almost beyond redemption is Paper Mario. Like, you could look at Banjo-Kazooie and say, okay, the last game they made wasn't even a real Banjo-Kazooie game, and then they just haven't made anything since. But Paper Mario, it's like they're still making them, and they're still getting it wrong. They don't understand what Paper Mario is. It's Mario's Story. That's the Japanese title. Don't get me started on Paper Mario, alright? Moving on. We got Tyler Deadeye247. What's your favorite Assassin's Creed character? Ezio Auditore. No reason, I just like saying the name like that. Mikkel Warrior asks, what is your favorite game mission and why? I've kind of talked about this before, but 2 Betrayals really comes to mind from Halo Combat Evolved, simply because it's got fucking everything. It's got everything. It's a long level, big wide open landscapes. I love it. 2 Betrayals. Zippy Boy asks, what's your favorite armor from Halo 5? Seeker.
I'm ugly and I'm proud.
Good! Say it louder.
I'm ugly and I'm proud.
Louder.
I'm ugly and I'm proud.
Louder.
I'm ugly and I'm proud. I am ugly and I'm proud. I'm ugly and I'm proud.
Is that what he calls it?
But on the real Helios Grill. Jesse Elders wants to know who my favorite character in the Halo universe is. Gotta be Arbiter or Johnson, man, or Tartarus. Actually, Tartarus is my favorite villain. Johnson's my favorite character. There's just something that Sergeant Johnson brought to the Halo universe that I haven't seen really replicated anywhere else. You could look at Aliens and be like, yeah, that's Apone is Sergeant Johnson, but, you know, in the Halo series, he's not only a badass, but he's comic relief, and he rallies the troops, and, you know, he represents the level below Master Chief, and all these reasons. But Tartarus, favorite villain, Johnson, favorite character. Simon Gustavsson asks, what's your favorite movie and video game of all time, and also are you considering making a video about KOTOR 2? Well, when I made the first KOTOR 1 video, it took a lot out of me and it didn't do too well at first, but it's picked up in views and whatnot, so I definitely will consider it. But as far as my favorite movie goes, Pirates of the Caribbean 1, man, because it's almost just like the perfect adventure film. It's got pirates, it's got great-ass music, it's got beautiful actors that are just so great at what they do. They've got all these conflicting personalities between, you know, Barbossa, Commodore Norrington, Elizabeth, Will Turner. I mean, it's just fantastic. Fantastic movie.
Couldn't resist, mate.
Favorite video game of all time, I really can't say because I have like a top 10 that I consider my favorites. Jack Lombardo asks, favorite Nintendo game? Banjo Tooie, or Mario Party 3, or Mario Tennis, or Star Fox 64, or Mario 64. God, there's so many good ones. Queen Boob Fox. God. Queen Boob Fox. What were some of your favorite TV shows growing up, and what was your favorite dessert to receive with lunch each day? Weird combo, but favorite TV shows gotta be like SpongeBob. I grew up with, you know, Johnny Bravo, Kids Next Door, Ed, Ed and Eddie, Drake and Josh. Man, there's so many shows, but SpongeBob is the all-time favorite. Favorite dessert? Ice cream? I don't know. Two Wingles. What's your favorite Valve game? Left 4 Dead 2, man. Co-op is too good. Ghosty, what do you think of the possibility of the Flood returning in Halo Infinite? Well, I actually made an entire video about this subject. Man, maybe like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago? From what we saw from the announcement trailer, you know, I've gotten my faith restored in 343 a bit, so it'll be interesting. I still kind of stand by the things I said in that video, that it'll just introduce another cog in the machine that, you know, might just make everything too complex to handle with Prometheans, Covenant, Swords of Sang Helios, Flood, Cortana, everything. But we'll see. I'd certainly love to see them return. Bali Blackblade, do you still remember me? You. I've seen you.
Let me see your face.
Do you like the Force Unleashed games, and would you ever consider making a video on them? I love the first one, never played the second. Yeah, I'll consider making a video on them. Timbo Slice, are there some games that you play that you like that's hated by everyone? And are there some games that you don't like but is liked by everyone? First part of the question, not really. But as for games that a lot of other people like that I don't really care for, the Uncharted series comes to mind. I tried so hard to get into those games, man, because the adventure, the Indiana Jones style of just, you know, pure fun adventure was really enticing. But the combat for me it's like the most generic shooter I've ever played. There's nothing I felt at the time really special about it. And, you know, I haven't played them in years, so I could be wrong. I'm willing to give them another try. I'm not really into Battle Royale games at all, so those are pretty popular. I don't care about them all that much. Brian wants to know, have you never got into any GTA games? It seems like you'd be a fan of those games, but I don't know if I've seen you talk about them. And I really haven't talked about GTA, but my kind of gripe with it is, back in the day I played GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas, and I played the shit out of them as a kid. Turned out alright, maybe Jack Thompson was wrong about the whole thing, but I just kind of burned out on the GTA series and never really found motivation to get back into them, to be honest. Titus Oof, acting man, have you ever though about starting a YouTube channel? No, I never have. I don't think I could make it. I don't think the videos I make would be very good. William Morris, act man, how do you manage to be so high class? High class? I'm wearing a fucking tank top, dude, and glasses. This is it. How do you even know I'm wearing pants and shit? I'm not, because I'm wearing shorts. NSA watch list bait. Great fucking name. Hit scan or projectile weapons in Halo. Projectile. Higher skill gap. Cooler. Paragon, how did you first start playing video games? Well, I was born with a copy of Dark Souls in my hand, and I went through with, just the broken straight sword and beat the whole game, not upgrading anything, soul level 1. That's how I first started. George asks, roughly how long do your video reviews take to put together? Dude, I don't keep track of the time. I just work until the job is done.
Rip and tear until it is done.
But you'll probably notice in between the big reviews, there's usually like a 2 to 3 week time span. So, about that much. Because I really think about the videos and the words I'm saying, and if I'm hitting all the key points that I want to, that sort of thing. I put a lot of thought into them, and a lot of editing as well. It really depends. For videos like the War Against Video Games, that shit took forever. Keenbow, on average, how much of a script do you write and record but ultimately end up cutting out of a video/series of videos? And if you can talk about it, what's one of the worst jokes you've had to take out of a script? I'd say about like 10% ends up being cut of the script, but I also alter things a lot. And what I do is I'll record the video, and as I'm editing, I'll write notes for revisions, right? So I'll go back and re-record stuff, or, record something new to add in. I usually end up adding more and cutting stuff. Well, for example, my Dark Souls 1 video, I had a whole section I wanted to talk about the drop-off in quality after Anne Orlando, but I ended up cutting that because the shit was just too long. What are the worst jokes I've had to take out? It's actually the only joke that comes to mind. I can't remember the context, but it was like, something fucking nails it. Like a Pakistani man nails underage kids in Telford. And thank God I took that out. Zael Rodriguez, if you could be any Star Wars character, who would you be and why? Either Darth Maul because I like the staff and I like to do butterfly kicks, or Obi-Wan because it's fucking Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan Kenobi here. I've engaged the enemy.
Simp Dom, is it viable to start on YouTube nowadays? It is always viable to start on YouTube. The adpocalypse has come and gone. It's a pretty great place to be. As old content creators fizzle out, or they leave YouTube, they stop producing videos, their channel dies, whatever, new creators pop up. It's a cycle of rebirth. So yeah, it's always viable. Doesn't mean it's gonna be easy though. Quantum, what is or was your major? English, because I wanted to be an English teacher and talk about stories and share my interpretations and learn more about these stories and that sort of thing. And that's kind of what inspires a lot of the content on this channel. Maurizio 12, Legislative Cro-Magnon, what has been your favorite denomination of the act man? Well, acting male is classic, but I also enjoy performing Homo sapien. Timmy the Kid, if you could meet any game character IRL, who would you pick and why? Damn, that is a good question. I mean, I'd probably like to get put into the world of Dragon Age and meet up with Alistair, because that guy's fucking hilarious.
I've seen you take some bad hits. Don't you feel anything?
Anger, rage even, perhaps a little distress. Is this pain?
I'm not sure. I don't think I call it distress, exactly. It's more...
There's plenty of characters. That's a really good question. Fairywinkle 1, would you ever do some kind of meetup with your subs? If so, where? I don't know. I don't really have such a big ego that I'd want people to come and see me and be like, hey, it's the Act Man. Oh, wow, you're so cool. I don't really want to feed my ego, so to speak. I guess I'm just not really into that. But maybe, you never know. Jonah Cantrell, most anticipated feature in Halo Infinite. Halo Reach style customization. I'm talking full customization. Improved, credit system, everything. Incentive, progression. That's what I'm looking forward to. Anthony Charles West, what music do you listen to, my man? I listen to a bit of everything. You know, I got oldies, I got techno, I got rock and roll, metal, rap. You know, I enjoy Megadeth, Disturbed, Eminem, The Prodigy. It's a very broad question, but I listen to everything. Okay, now we have the realest question so far from Al John Lim. Are you ready? Thoughts on pineapple on pizza. This is a hotly debated subject. Many people have died discussing their opinions on this subject matter, and I firmly believe if you order a Hawaiian pizza, it is okay to have pineapple on that pizza. But only a Hawaiian-themed pizza, people. Nothing else is fair game. Nothing. That is my statement on the matter. Good day. The Red Guy. Do you have any games you love but no one else seems to, or games you don't like but everyone else loves? This is kind of a familiar question, but the game that comes to my mind is Armed and Dangerous for PC and Xbox. There's barely any information on this game. It's a LucasArts game too, and I want to do a video on it because it's one of the funniest games I've ever played.
Quick! What should I say to them? I'm running out of power!
Vic, what should he say to us? He's running out of power.
Tell them they're both teapots. No Scottish miners. Look, just tell them we're not the ones they're looking for.
Wait! I can handle this. You're both... French!
We surrender!
Ah!
And it's so unknown, it's so underrated. Like, how many of you watching right now have heard of this game or played it before? Let me know. But I want to do a video on that. Armed and Dangerous, look it up. John Perez, why do you refuse to do a Banjo-Kazooie video? Is it because you don't think it would be popular with your fans, or are you waiting for something? Listen, John Perez, Banjo-Kazooie is not something I take lightly, okay? The time has to be right. I have to put the effort in. It has to be magnificent because that is one of my favorite childhood games, one of my favorite games of all time, okay? Banjo-Kazooie and Tooie, I'd have to do it right, okay? Ethan Paco Taco. What was the response like to your Gamers vs. SJWs video? It was pretty good, actually. A lot of positive response, but it's the only video that has been like permanently demonetized on my channel. I think just there was a small group of people that were super salty about it, which maybe proves my point. Fleshling in a stupid hat, aka Spenny, why are you so beautiful? You really couldn't come up with a better question, my friend. What am I supposed to say to this? Gaius Octavian, acting human of the male gender, you've done Why is Halo and Fashion Souls so awesome, but why not Star Fox 64? I just haven't gotten to it, man. I definitely want to because it's got some of the best voice acting ever in gaming. One day, that's all I'll say. Ultraman, what are your thoughts on equipment? If you had the chance to improve upon it, how would you? I don't know. Call of Duty has some cool equipment ideas too, you know? Like, are you talking about in Halo? Probably. I mean, stuff like the trophy system, I don't know, just more impactful equipment that, you know, doesn't just sit there. Maybe it does something. Maybe it's a little robot. Maybe it, you know, calls in a drop pod to deliver a weapon or something. There's a million ideas you can do with equipment. What cereal do you eat for breakfast to attain such a powerful level of acting male? I go with a healthy breakfast of fuck-em-uppos. Give me butter. What do you think of Destiny 2 now with its updates and its upcoming Forsaken DLC? I stopped caring about Destiny 2 when I did the raid 3-4 times and had nothing left to do. Maxed out my character, nothing to do. I don't care about it really anymore. You know, and the way Bungie has been acting with it, I'm not ever gonna go back. There was a lot of questions asking me what inspired to make videos, why I decided to be a YouTuber, what inspires me to keep going, what motivation, yada yada yada. I mean, in a nutshell, me and my brothers always enjoyed, you know, these reviews on YouTube that either talk shit about an awful game, you know, from Angry Video Game Nerd, or something that just shit on a horrible movie, you know, like Samurai Cop, or... Oh yeah, there's also a question about who are the YouTubers that inspired me, and I'd say I Hate Everything, Your Movie Sucks, Red Letter Media, Chris Raygun, The Angry Video Game Nerd, Angry Joe. There's so many of them. And, you know, I always had super strong feelings about the games I played, and, you know, they just impacted me so much as a person that I wanted to share those same feelings and thoughts with other people online through this beautiful thing called the internet. And if I could make money doing that too, that's fucking perfect, man. I get paid to share my love and sometimes hatred with video games. You know, it's like you play a game, say for example Dragon Age, and you're just like, wow, this is fucking incredible. And then the sequel comes out and it's Dragon Age 2 and you're like, wow, this is the worst thing in the world. And just being able to share those opinions on whatever game it might be is a big inspiring factor for me. And being able to gain an audience that watches and cares and gives a shit, that's the inspiration. You are the inspiration. Yes, you are the people that keep me pushing forward to make videos. You, my audience. Indigo Child wants to know, what's your favorite video of yours and why? Well, I'm gonna pull a page out of Strong Bad's book and say, my videos are like my children's. I love them all. But if I had to play favorites, I mean, Crabgot vs. the World was one of the most fun videos to put together because it was one of the first and it was just a funny moments kind of compilation. It was one of the best games of League of Legends I've played out of thousands of games. I mean, this Q&A is going on for a long ass time, so I'll say like my Halo 4 review, because at the same time that I was trashing it, I learned to appreciate some of the elements I didn't appreciate before. My Noble Team Toku Sentai, because that was just the most obscure fucking crossover, and if you got it, thank you. War Against Video Games, because I was so happy when that was done. There's a lot of videos. And now, the final and most important question. Navi, when you play Paper Mario The 1,000-Year Door, do you wear the Luigi emblem, Wario emblem, or both to be Waluigi? I do both. Waluigi, man, all the way. This is one of the most nuanced aspects of Paper Mario The 1,000-Year Door, and the fact that someone asked me about it is just fucking incredible. Thank you. Alright, so that's gonna do it for this video. Sorry if I didn't answer your questions. I've been recording this for like 15 minutes, so I'm gonna wrap it up. If you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe. That's all I got for today. This is the Act Man signing out. Peace!